Hello abnormal psychology students. This video overview is going to focus on the Sci 215 Final Project Milestone 1 Literature Review assignment. This assignment will be doing Module 3, and there are a number of supporting documents to guide you through the process of completing this task. First and foremost, you have the guidelines and rubric document, which we're looking at right now. This will detail everything that must be included in your literature review assignment. Keep in mind that you're not conducting an actual full-length literature review, but an adapted version of a lit review for this assignment. Be sure to adhere to the guidelines that are mentioned within this document. I've highlighted a couple important things on the first page of the guidelines and rubric document. Keep in mind that your adapted literature review will include 5 articles. The 3 articles that relate to your topic that you selected early in the term, and the 2 additional articles which you will find that are related to your topic. My suggestion is that the 2 additional articles narrow down the topic a bit and allow you to focus on how you are going to conduct your study, which comes later in the course. For now, find 2 related articles that provide direction for your research design. You're going to have 5 shorter adapted literature reviews. You're going to follow the template, which I'll show you in a minute, for each of the articles that you review. Each of them should be about 2 to 4 pages in length, and this will vary depending on the level of detail necessary to complete each of the sections. What you're doing here is you're building up to your final literature review submission, which will be a synthesis, a coherent submission for your final project. This is the groundwork that will help you establish the foundation for the literature review section of your final project later in the term. After reviewing the guidelines and rubric document, my suggestion is that you look at the Sci 215 Literature Review Basics document. And this gives an overview of full literature reviews, the literature review process, and the adapted literature review. It also contains links to additional resources that will help you in completion of this milestone assignment, including the literature review template and an example that will show you what the finished product should look like. The literature review example shows you exactly what should be included in each of the sections, and the sections are in bold, and you'll use this as a guide to complete the assignment. My recommendation is that you print this out and keep it on your desk as you're working through the articles. It also shows you the approximate level of detail that you should include for each section. Now let's jump over to the blank document, and I'll provide additional guidance for each section. The template is provided for you in Microsoft Word, which will allow you to edit and fill in each of the appropriate sections. You'll notice here that the articles are numbered, pre-assigned 1, 2, and 3, which indicates the 3 articles that were provided for you, and each of those should be included first. Next, you will have the self-selected articles, and there will be 2 of those, Article 4 and Article 5. And you'll also notice that the sections remain the same for each of the 5 articles. Once again, I want to reiterate the fact that this is practice, and what you're doing here is building the foundation for your final project. That being said, the more detail that you include here, the easier it will be to piece together the coherent literature review for your final project. For the first section, what is the title of the article? Provide a reference for the article in APA format. What you're going to include here is the reference, as it would be listed in your reference list. So it should be in proper APA format. You're going to include that here for the article. For purpose of the article, you're going to scan the article and look for the aim or the goal the reason that the researchers investigated that topic. What value does it add? And that will be the purpose for that research study. Next, you're going to look for the hypothesis. Search in the introduction toward the end where the researchers talk about what they expect to find by carrying out that investigation. Within this question, you're also going to discuss the outcomes of the study. What were the conclusions drawn by the researchers based on their findings? What were the results? This will typically be found in the discussion section. Next, you're going to look at, identify, and discuss the variables of the research, the factors that were being investigated. If it was an experiment, you're going to look and discuss the independent and dependent variable. The independent variable being the variable that's manipulated, or variables that are manipulated. And the dependent variables are what's being looked at, what's being measured. If it's a correlational study, you're going to have a predictor and an outcome variable. Be sure to identify and discuss these variables as they relate to abnormal behavior. For section 5, if these variables or relationship between these variables have been studied before, what have other studies found? So research builds on previous related work. These researchers that put together the article that you're reviewing have built upon a body of knowledge that has already been published. How does this study fit into the larger picture? In other words, what does this study add to the larger picture? What value does it bring in? What knowledge does it bring in? And how is it different from other related investigations? As you design a hypothetical study in this course, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to build on the studies that you're reviewing as part of this literature review, identify a gap, and design a hypothetical study. Section 6, you're going to describe the research design that was used. Was it an experimental study, correlational? And you're going to briefly mention the instrumentation that was used as part of the study. And last but not least, you're going to discuss whether or not, in your opinion, this study was conducted in an ethical manner. Was there harm done to participants? Were informed consent forms distributed and filled out and signed? Was there any discussion of the research being approved? More important than identifying whether or not you think that research was conducted in an ethical manner is the support, the justification for why or why not. And to aid you in this, be sure to review, and there's for your convenience, a link provided here, the APA guidelines for research. You're going to repeat these steps for each of the 5 articles. If you have any questions about this Milestone 1 assignment, be sure to reach out to your instructor.